Hi everybody. Welcome back to B-Man School of Business. As you remember, the whole mission is really about practical discussions and experiences to share with students as they learn in the classroom, and they can start to blend just some of the experiences that I've had and some of the lessons that I've learned over the years, and maybe that matches up and helps them as they move into the business world. Certainly this is meant to be interaction, so emails and notes on the YouTube channel, feel free to send me a note of something that you might be interested in. Today I want to talk a little bit about strategy, high-level picture of strategy, if you will. One of my favorite professors that I read about a lot is Michael Porter, Harvard business professor. I encourage you to read some of his articles on strategy and competition. They're amazing and they've been very helpful to me. His definition: strategy is about making choices and trade-offs to deliver value to customers while achieving a competitive advantage. So, four really important components here: choices, trade-offs, delivering value, and competitive advantage. I'm going to give you a high-level picture of each of those, and then in later videos we'll dive into those in much more depth, if you will. The first thing really is, when you think about making choices, what group of customers are we going to serve, right? The customers will be a segmentation of an industry with common customer needs. So if you're in the lawn care business, you're going to look for people that need their grass cut, right? If you're in the food and service business or coffee business like Starbucks, you're going to look for drinks and things. You're going to look for customers that do that. So I'm in the business-to-business segment, so we look for businesses that have the needs that align with our capabilities, right? And that's real important. Common needs that align with the current capabilities. So you get to define your market. You get to pick the customers you want to serve and the needs that they want to serve, or that they need served. The needs could be taking advantage of an opportunity and making things better. Could be solving problems. Either one of those, and we'll talk more about that when we get into selling processes and that kind of stuff. But just think about this: group of customers with common needs. You can put them in. That's my market or my market segment I'm going to serve, and it matches up with your current capabilities to deliver and support those needs, or capabilities that you're going to create, like new products and that kind of stuff. So that's the group customers. Trade-offs. Every company, there's a limited amount of resources. So many people, so much money. So much. You have to decide in your strategy, these customers that you're going to go serve, how much resources do you have to apply to deliver the capabilities to solve their problems or fulfill their needs? How much do you have, and how do you allocate those across your business? Really important. You want to make sure that you don't waste resources, but you also want to make sure you apply enough resources to be successful taking care of that customer. Really in-depth decision. And sometimes resources is money, and you're borrowing from banks. There's sometimes it's labor and people and expertise. Okay, trade-offs is important. Delivering value. This is a big deal to me. Value. The customers buy based on their self-defined value criteria. What's important to them, right? Do they buy your product because it's high quality? Do they buy your product because you deliver on time? Do you buy your product because of the value it creates, or is it cheaper? So, in that segmentation of people's needs, these customers are going to be a little bit different, and you'll have to understand that. We'll get into the value component in another video. There's a lot to unpack there, but just know if a customer's going to buy your product, the value that they receive from that has to be equal or greater than what you charge them. Nobody puts money in the bank only to take less out. And if you think about that, you think about value in that context, that'll help you position your product and make sure that you're selling it appropriately and you're delivering the value for the customer, and that the customer sees the value and buys from you. The last component that he talked about is competitive advantage. You got a group of customers that you're going to serve, but they'll also be target market for other companies, your competitors in the market. And there's a lot of good stuff that Michael Porter writes in this area. Pretty cool. So read what he has. He talks about in markets when there's good competition, That's what makes sure that customers get what they want. And when there isn't any competition, then the supplier or the provider of that service or product kind of commands the price and commands things. So from a customer point of view, competition is a good thing. Your strategy will include a definition on how you will beat your competitors and win business. How will you compete? So here's my competitor, here's me. I line up capabilities and features, customer experience, and I put myself in a position to win the best I can so that my business is successful, then it grows. I know these explanations are simple, but still to the point, and we'll dive into each one in details in later videos. So just to summarize, choices. Who are your customers and what are their needs? You know, how do they think about that? Trade-offs. How will I allocate scarce resources to fulfill those needs for customers? People, money, resources, parts, whatever, equipment, whatever those resources are to fulfill those needs. Value. What value will we create that is greater than what the customer gives up, right? It can be as simple as they value their time more than what they pay you to cut their grass. They would rather pay you to cut the grass because their time is more valuable as they do something else. That's just an oversimplified example, but and remember that value is in the eye of the beholder. So you need to understand your customers and how they measure value in the context of the product or service that you provide to them. And then lastly, competitive advantage. How do we stack up against our competitions? What do we have to do to win? Those are just some of the things. So Michael Porter's high-level definition. This is a high-level overview of those key components around strategy. The other component to this is, and we'll get into it later, is the delivery, right? So you have strategy, which is ideas and positioning, value creation, how we compete, but then you have execution, which is just as important. How do we execute? And the operating units, how do they deliver? And what's the customer experience across both the value creation and selling and the execution? Some real important things to unpack here. It's pretty exciting. And we'll talk about books and things to read and some other things that I really like. And I'll share some of that with you in a later video. I hope this is helpful. I hope you find it interesting. Take these components, and if you're a student and you're thinking about going and you're visiting a company and you're going to do some interviews to see if you want to work for them, ask them some questions about these components. How do they do that? How do they compete, right? What kind of value do they create for customers? Just understand how sophisticated they are, and it'll help you learn a lot about the potential company that you might go work for or that you're thinking about working for. You've probably done some of this kind of stuff in school. That's cool. I am not a college professor. I'm just sharing the things that I've learned over the years and how I think about things and trying to create some dialogue and go from there. So anyway, B. McCulley School of Business. Here's my email, bmcculley01@gmail.com. You can send me notes, ask me things, or you can put it on the YouTube channel and say, hey, here's some things I'd like to talk about and some other things. So hope you enjoy it. High level stuff. A lot more to come. You know, we can go on and on. I'd really like to hear from you of what are the kind of things you'd like me to talk about. And if I can't answer them, I have access to a lot of really smart people, and I can get them on here and we can talk a little bit about how they think about certain topics. So hope you had a good Thanksgiving and appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Bye.